Classic Joni. My name is Jeremy Santa Cruz. My sister Joni has so much character, qualities, and personality. It's so long to list in this short period of time that I have here on the podium. So I'd like to take this time to share with you my personal relationship that I had with our sister Joni. Our, meaning she was all our sister. I would like to describe Joni as being the nurse that she was. Sums up the meaning of her spirit. Joni cared for everyone she met in small ways and large ways. For me, Joni was my big sister and friend, whom always had such guidance for me throughout life. One very clear image of Joni that I recall is the time I was caught stealing at the local store. I was 7 years old. She walked into the back of the store where I was in the office. It's all a blur at this point, but I see her talking with the large manager. Joni looking so small, looking so very obedient, she nods in agreement with the manager. She turns to me and beckons me to come. I don't remember much after that except the walk home was silent. Then she said, "We won't tell Dad and Mom about this." At this point, I guess like any other thieving son, I was very relieved to know I wasn't going to get the spanking I deserved. She hid me from shame. She showed me compassion. She showed me forgiveness. All from that one sentence. This is the stamp, the mark, where she became my friend. I learned she could keep secrets. She never spoke any to me, so I knew she kept her secrets. Joni was honorable, and she was one to have your back. This is classic Joni. The decade of the 70s to me is Joni. I remember very few moments that we shared as friends, but there were some good ones. Another particular one was entering her room. I have a vision of her on her bed, cross-legged, folding juicy fruit, wrappers in Japanese-style origami. She had wrappers linked together so they summed up as long sheets of paper. She would smile as I walked in, the wonder in my eyes. However, I was not interested in learning how to do it, as she thought, but it was neat. I quite enjoyed the small memory. Joni also collected Love Is comics and cut them out from the newspaper daily. She had so many portraits in a scrapbook. I couldn't see the fascination except I only thought how girly. And wasn't Joni always so crafty? She knitted, made art, loved clever ingenuity. She was a good dresser. She had her own style and it showed individuality. That was classic Joni. In this same era, I think at our first house on Lewis Ave here in town, there is one image I can recall in the living room, a small white 10-inch screen TV, still showing black and white. Joni is cross-legged on the floor as she watched. In my mind, I see only her and the TV. The memory in my mind has no clear surroundings around Joni and the TV, although I believe we were all watching. I was at the kitchen door looking in at the TV and Joni. It's how I will always remember the day Elvis Presley died. Although it is a sad memory and why this image is so instilled in my mind, I'll always cherish it, as it marks the early times of my life and moments with Joni. Now, Joni loved beautiful male icons. She would come up with names of movie stars that I didn't recognize, but I knew the face. She was a fan of various artists and appreciated their talent. Such a good actor, she would say, and this is classic Joni. One day in my early teens, I developed an urge to learn guitar. This memory is very special and now. As I strummed HeyJude by the Beatles, Joni sat by me to help with my chords. I sat with my guitar across from her and her guitar, and I see her in my mind explaining the changes. She's showing me D to G, C to G, however the chords went. Her hands were so comfortable, I noticed. I remember her hair so thick and parted in the middle. The funny clothes she wore because of the times. Then her eyes lit up and she said, "Listen to this." And she played Blackbird by the Beatles. In my mind, I can see us playing together as she taught me the song. I can still play it today. It truly is a gem of a memory on that living room floor. Joni was talented. She could play piano, play guitar, and sing. With music comes heart and soul. She did have these, and this was classic Joni. Joni was always complimenting. She always wanted you to notice what she saw in you and made you feel comfortable to be with her. Joni gave small treasure gifts. She gave greeting cards for occasions, always showing the love and maybe even the kind of love she wanted back. She had always profound wisdom. Joni cared for us, or for people close to her. I felt it personally, different from me, but I'm sure it was different for all individuals here. Joni was sweet. Joni was kind. And this is classic Joni. Now that she's with God, I realize how much of a guardian she really was. How nice it was to have a friend like her. 'Cause she was. Just that. For me, I'll always think of her now as an angel that lived among us. Joni loved everyone. Every single person here I know she loved. You all felt her sweetness. You all witnessed that generous smile. That we can only now realize how true it was. It was personalized just for you. This is classic Joni. I'll leave you all now with something you can go home with. Every time you see a Juicy Fruit wrapper, hear the rock of an Elvis song, or the soft picking of the song Blackbird, think of Joni. Think of her sweetness. And think of her. Thank you for all coming to see Joni off on her journey. And thank you on Joni's behalf. Thank you.
You were only waiting for this moment to rise. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see. And all your life, you were only waiting for this moment to be free. And blackbird fly, blackbird fly into the light of a dark flag.